Gundam Maniacs? Welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. For this episode, we're going to jump into some lore. It's going to be the Black Tri-Stars as I delve into Gundamness at random intervals during my waking life. Sometimes I come across a topic that I want to jump into, and Black Tri-Stars has been on my mind for a while, mainly because they were kind of a cool force that appeared in the original 0079, but then they showed up in Unicorn, but it wasn't Zeon, it was the Earth Federation. I'm still confused, but we'll get to it. But before we get started, if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description for the Patreon, also the Discord, very cool place there. But yeah, let's get started. All right, so I'm going to jump into some lore here in a second, but a little tease here. Here are some of the mobile suits that make up the Black Tri-Stars, I guess, in terms of a unit that calls themselves the Black Tri-Stars have been in these mobile suits, as well as a Zaku 1. We're going to dive into a little of that, and I'll come back to these also so we can kind of look at, get an up-close look to what the mobile suit is exactly. These two on the left and right are from the Robot Spirits anime line, so they are anime accurate. And back here we have the Jesta from Unicorn. That's a high grade. And, while it's not the anime, I mean, the high grade, especially at the time it came out, is very accurate. Okay, so when it comes to information about the Black Tri-Stars, we have the Gundam Wiki, which is always a great resource. We see there's a main and origin tab. That is because the Black Tri-Stars are also in the origin, these three specific pilots. You kind of see some history of theirs. When we look at the origin tab, we see that there's really not much information. We see the names of the members of the Zeon Black Tri-Stars, Miguel, Ortega, and Mash. And in the main, we have Ortega, Gaia, and Mash. So same characters, and it's interesting to see, how they're drawn between origin and main, where it's kind of similar, just kind of, updated. And that's probably another reason why these are separated, because even with that update in origin, I guess there's some canonical differences, and so that's why they kind of sorted out like this. Okay, so real quick, if it's quick enough, history from the main timeline, officially known as the Mobile Assault Force 7th Division, 1st Mobile Suit Battalion Command Affiliated Special Duty Squad. The history of the Black Tri-Stars began in May UC 0076 when then Colonel Cecilia Zabi of the Republic of Zeon military formed the Mobile Training Battalion, an experimental unit created to establish mobile suit tactics. Then Sergeant Gaia, Sergeant Major Ortega, and then Sergeant Major Mash were all members of the Mobile Training Battalion 2nd Squadron's D Squad, piloting MS-05B Zaku 1, painted in dark sea blue, making them some of Zeon's earliest mobile suit pilots. At this point, they were not yet on the same team. So it's very interesting to really get history about the mobile suits, especially when it comes to Zeon, because they kind of started that era. And I guess within that Zeon, the Black Tri-Stars, those members were some of the first to even pilot mobile suits. So they're kind of getting, a kind of a leg up in the training of getting used to mobile suits and what to expect. Okay, so in January 0079, there was an attack done on Side 5 where they demonstrated the jet stream attack. And thanks to C99 for the YouTube video, I'll put a link in the description. This is showing their jet stream attack, which is pretty cool because it's like the start of the Skatey Boys. They're all, skating around. It's something we still see mobile suits use, and in general, mecha anime, the idea of having suits kind of skate around using thrusters instead of walking. Okay, so during the Battle of Loom, they were assisting Dazzle Zabi by command of Cecilia, and I guess they sunk 5 Federation battleships, and they were using their jet stream attack, and they even captured General Revel's escape shuttle. So they were then upgraded to the Zaku 2 commander type, later the high mobility type, which is what that Robot Spirits version is. Okay, and so they get their DOMs during Operation Odessa, which was a pivotal battle in 0079. So we can see the Black Tri-Stars are really a part of some pivotal moments within the UC Gundam timeline. So with the jet stream attack, I guess it's the 3 mobile suits approach the target in line formation, making it appear that there was only one mobile suit approaching. After closing the distance, the lead unit attacks the target using either ranged or melee weapons. When the target either evades or attempts to counterattack, the 2 follow-up units begin their attack. And I think that mobility they have certainly helps. if I'm remembering correctly, we see some of those tactics utilized by the Southern Cross during Cuckoo's Doan's Island. I just love those high mobility style um, uh, mobile suits in general when they're in gravity based areas, land masses on Earth or maybe on asteroids or the moon, where they can kind of skate around the terrain. But another interesting thing about the Black Tri-Stars has to do with the RGM 96X Jesta from Gundam Unicorn. I remember watching it and seeing the TriStars logo on the unit, and I just was kind of confused by that because now we're seeing Federation weaponry taking over that Black TriStar look. Now, there could be a lot of reasons for that. It could be that as Zimad and Zionic folded into Anaheim Electronics, there were certain signifiers used when there was groups that were considered like aces or maybe supports for the main unit, like the Unicorn in this instance. So it could be that was just reused as they were building out units. But I wonder if there's more to it because we know by that time, of course, by that time in the UC timeline within the Earth Federation forces, I mean, really, it seemed like all of who were in charge of conflict were still in talks with each other, kind of allowing things to continue to go on for weapons of mass destruction to be created. So there could be just something where the through line is saying that this was the remnants um of the Xeon that are just still here, just with the Federation. I don't know if it goes that deep. It reminds me of during World War II. Was it Operation Paperclip, where all those German Nazi scientists came to the U.S. Then they started up NASA and everything. So like the through line in the development of scientific technologies, kind of has a through line between the different factions. I think that's interesting. Curious what's going on here now. When we look at the Black TriStars Wikipedia or Gundam, wiki, there really isn't anything here unless I missed it, where they talk about how then that became part of Unicorn. They would even talk about the members because if we go to the Jesta, if we look at the pilots, right? There's this guy Thornton we can't click on there. But yeah, it shows us the pilots of these vehicles that part of Londo Bell's. See, he is the leader of Londo Bell's TriStars. It doesn't have black in front of it. So is that something different? Is TriStars more of a general term that I'm just not aware of? And so that means it's not related. It's more of a coincidence. I'm just curious. Yeah, we can see like on the side of the helmet there. And this is the Mobile Assault Force emblem used by the Black TriStars, so it does look different than what the Jesta used. Yeah. So curious if TriStars is just a general term. The Xeons were the Black TriStars. It was picked up by the Federation for their Jestas. Curious if you guys know. And pretty cool, the PS2 game Encounters in Space actually has a campaign where you play as the Black TriStars. And even in here, they're in their Zaku 1, so that's pretty cool. I've played Encounters in Space, but I never played some of these side scenarios, so I don't know if you kind of go through and get Zaku 2s. I think this is a great game, just in general, to play. Yeah, what's really cool is the artwork in Encounters in Space and the narration. It's exclusive to it, but fits right in line with UC Gundam, the original One Year War, even though it has upgrades. Like we can see the modern details added to the Zaku. And this is the high mobility type Zaku 2 that the Black TriStars use. All right, and here's a shot from Unicorn. Amazing animation. Here are the TriStars in action, the Jesta. All right, now just to kind of get a look at these, that's what's cool about Gundam, the model kit building, the robot spirits. Once you like build the kit of a certain mobile suit, you kind of have more of a connection with it and understand it a bit more. Or at least I think so. So here's the Dom. Looks very cool. Yeah, so this is the robot spirits for anime. So it's got a lot of good articulation. It's, spot on to what you see within the show. I just love it. It comes with more weapons, obviously, in the bazooka as well. A place to put the heat saber, whatever that's called, the beam sword, heat sword. But yeah, very cool. That's the Dom. And then here's the robot spirits high mobility type Zaku 2. And I want to say this also probably came with the Commander and 10. I've just had it displayed like this. But the main difference is the thrusters in the propulsion system. How, yeah, it's a lot different than what you see from the typical Zaku 2. A high mobility Zaku 2 is already awesome. Very cool that it's utilized by this team. Now, even the robot spirits did come with more decals and even the number. So if you get multiple of them, you can decorate them as the pilots. I haven't really got to that yet. But that same thing sort of applies also with the Jesta high grade model kit. I have this reviewed up on the channel. Now, this is an awesome kit. It was given to me by Santo Bell, one of the supporters. Um, awesome, very cool. Comes with the decal so you can differentiate the team. More than 3, though. Even as we saw in Unicorn, there was quite a few there that were jumping down. But an awesome model kit to build. They all have the articulation you would expect. I would even say, this high grade is one of the most worthy of model kits. This thing does not fall apart. This thing has all the articulation you want. It's probably the best version you could get of this kit at this scale. Well, and that was it. That's some lore of the Black Tri-Stars, or the Tri-Stars as they are called in Unicorn while being under the Federation. If you happen to have more information about that, let me know. If more detail, I'd like to pin it too as a top comment if there's more information to add. Also, if you want to check out like 0079, the original, you can kind of see them in action there, as well as the Origin, which has some differences in the canon. You can kind of see some of the beginnings of that team, what they've done in there. And also, I guess just by reading other sources, the manga, novels, there's even more information of the Black Tri-Stars if you wanted them as well. And of course, the games, video games are very faithful and great ways to take in some more Gundam UC that is canonical. So check out, the Encounters in Space on PS2. If you happen to have a copy of the game and a PS2, great. If not, really, it's hard. I'd say it might not be hard to get a hold of. It's not as practical. I think emulation is okay in that sense. I'm curious what you guys think in this case, where these games and consoles are not really for sale anymore. Sometimes you have to emulate to play them. But yeah, curious what you guys think about that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and like if you thought this was cool. It really helps me out. Yeah, check all the links in the description. Fun stuff going on there. But anyway, thanks a lot. I'll see you guys later.